Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow!
Well, the first time I got it, I was 10 years old. Got it from the kid in the door. And I went to see the doctor, and he gave me the cure. Think I got it some more. They gave me cat scratch fever. They gave me cat scratch fever. They gave me cat scratch fever. I got a bad scratch fever. The cat scratch fever. What do you mean? What do you mean? No, I haven't got a fur ball. Yeah. I haven't got a fur ball in my throat. Yeah, I came here. You invited me. I came here to go mono a Cato. Yeah. Yeah, it's me. Ha! No. No, look. No, look. No, you look. You look. All right, should I get it? Okay. Good morning, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Huh, okay. Yeah, first of all, it's evening. Gotcha. Yep. So, what do you mean? What do you mean? Tweety, could you check this out? I think this is a number, because we've had calls from this number before, and I recognize, I think it might be some dude that calls himself Ted Nugent, that claims to be the real Ted Nugent. Well, we know we got... Ted says... Well, first of all, Ted says... Let's get your time straight here. Okay. Ted says he's wading across the mode right now. Gives him an opportunity to get a little extra Vaseline in his hair, of course. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Basil, he claims to be the real Ted Nugent. What do you think? You think it might be the real Ted Nugent? Tweety, did you get that number checked out yet? Tweety says, yeah, it is the Ted Nugent, or at least a number attached to the Ted Nugent. So Ted, how could you be somewhere else and yet at the same time here singing your absolute smash hit, Cat Scratch Fever? Basil's got something to say, and I'm going to say it first. I'm going to say it in cat, because we've got an increasing number of kids in the audience of all ages who are learning to speak the language of their house cat. But still, there's a few of those stragglers out there that say that nope. English is the official language of the United States, and we don't accept any substitutes, except of course the the variety of English that they get spoken in the Confederate States and other areas of the country where they like to garble their grammar. Okay, so okay. Basil, I'm going to quote Basil first, and I'm going to give it to you in English, Ted. Okay, Basil says, okay. Now, for your benefit, Ted, and for the those stragglers in the audience's benefit, Basil says, "Look, bub, you got some nerve talking about cat scratch fever when, first of all, you don't even have a cat." Well, hold on, Basil. Yeah, Ted, before I finish your remarks, Ted interjects, he does have a cat. He occasionally borrows Ted Cruz's and house sits Ted Cruz's cat, Fono Faco? Is that his name? Or is that Fakey Fono? Or just Fakey? Fake. Okay. Ted, I'm going to let Basil finish his statement because I've got it to, he had sort of a lengthy statement there a moment ago. Says, you got some nerve pretending to know anything about cats and besmirching us about linking us with a disease. And a disease, particularly a disease that you caught, as your lyrics say, well, the first time that I got it, I was 10 years old. Ted, what kind of example are you setting for the kids of America? Okay, Ted wants to interject something else too, Basil. He says he actually was 9 years old. And he says kitty, but says it tweren't no kitty. Matter of fact, she wasn't from next door either. She was from down the street. But get out, like it's the romantic notion of yeah. I'm going to quote Ted on this. Plugging the girl next door. The romantic notion of that is quite a thing for the youth, the male youth of America. Okay. So Ted, when you went to the doctor, what happened? He gave you the cure. You said what exactly did you have, and what was the cure? Okay. Yeah. Basil, Ted's saying that he had something mysterious, a mysterious outbreak that popped up somewhere in his nether regions. And the cure was, well, the real cure the doctor suggested for long-term relief was stop being such a jerk. But the short-term relief was he gave him some medicine that apparently disinfected his nether regions and sent that fever packing off in a little container somewhere in his body, where the doctor said he hoped it wouldn't show up again for forever, but the likelihood that it would show up again periodically during his life was a pretty likely event, a pretty likely chain of events. Okay, now. Oh, okay, good. Basil, he was coming up the other side of the moat, and he kind of slid back down a little bit. Okay. Well, while you huff and puff and come on out of your moat and try to manage your way here to be the real Ted Nugent on our stage, you got a pocket TV with you? Oh, you're watching TV on the internet. Okay, you've got streaming live picture and sound of our show on your iPad. Okay. Well, if you put the darn thing down, maybe you'll have a better chance of climbing out of that moat. And I said, nope, he doesn't go anywhere without it. it shows the kids that he's 21st century. Okay. So, oh, okay. You've read The Cat in the Hat, so you know about our Cat in the Hat phone. You know about the whole thing about that. You were reading The Cat in the Hat when you were plugging the gal from down the street? Why in the world would you be reading that when you're doing that? Okay, Basil, Ted says that he hasn't yet revealed in the song how old she was. Okay, that's just that, and like he likes to call it, snail mail that comes via letter carrier rather than through the electronics of the computer, through the phone lines, through the internet. So, Ted, are you still there? Okay, we lost him. I'm sure he's probably trudging his way here to hopefully not to give us cat scratch fever, but probably to chew us out about doing a pretend version of his song. Okay. So it's going to be a while wait, so I don't know if you really want to just hang around. But okay. I'll bet that's Elsie. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Oh, okay. Yeah, Basil, it's Elsie calling from the farm. Hi, Elsie. Good morning. Good evening. Good day. How you doing? Elsie says that she always thought the song was cow scratch fever, and she couldn't figure out why in the world, because cows have hooves, or as Ted says, hoofs. Okay. So Elsie, what is going on in your neck of the woods? Did you get any interesting mail recently from either Robert Garavell or from anybody else? Elsie says she's been getting knocks at the door lately from folks that are offering her a cup of tea and want to talk to her about real America, and the America that dates back to where really okay, the America that dates back from the time when you had the Borden ads and Mama was in the kitchen and Papa was out working in the office, and how those days are sorely missed, because we had now, Elsie, don't you know to say to them that give them the story about, to talk to them about Dwight Eisenhower. Really? Okay. Elsie says these guys have a very short memory and a very spotty memory also. They only like to remember a couple of presidents. They like to remember Ronald Reagan, because Ronald Reagan, or as they call him, Saint Ronaldus. He's the cow's moo. Oh, is that sort of like the cat's meow? Okay. Okay. Elsie's telling me, Basil, that these folks come to her door and want to talk about bringing back the old days when people could choose the doctor that they wanted to go to. They could go to their regular family doctor, who always seemed to be named. I know. I don't think so. No. So at any rate, so. I'll tell you later, Basil, what Elsie said. Doctors are allegedly all named according to the folks that come to her door. Okay. So, what else are they telling you? What are they saying? What are they talking about? What's the cachet of the past? Okay. Elsie says, first of all, what's all that banging going on down there? No. Basil says, look, Ted's not here, so that there's none of that going on. So, and there's no children running around the studio. Well, he's intimated, and I say that rather loosely, as he could be rather loose, not lucid, but loose. He says in the song he was 10 years old, and now on the phone he's also told us that the girl down the street, not the girl next door, but the girl down the street that he was with when he was 10 was actually, perhaps, he hasn't given us her exact age, but he's intimated that she was younger than that. Elsie says, Elsie says that she was poked and prodded for the first time when she was 4 years old, and the bull was 3. So, if that's how Ted Nugent wants to create progeny, then that's all right. Okay. Hold on a second. I gotta put the phone down for a second because we've got a silencer on the other phone. But hold on. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Elsie, just hold on a minute. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Oh, okay. Ted Nugent says he's in his car, and he's probably about 50 miles away from us. So he's going to try to get here as quickly as possible. If we need to do a second show, we'll just go ahead and do that, and Ted can go ahead and join us. All right, eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, Ted. Oh, we lost Elsie. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Hello? Oh, good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Okay. Elsie, we're expecting some calls from a surprise, we'll call him the other Ted. Okay? So we're going to have to let you go as soon as the conversation begins. It's the cat and hat phone's lit up again. Hey, you know what I see on top of the cat and hat phone? Ted Nugent said that that when he was having that experience when he was 10 years old with the girl down the street, he was reading her The Cat in the Hat. I guess part of his foreplay, or in his case, two play. Okay, but on the phone, there appears to be a pretty reasonable facsimile likeness of Ted Nugent, and perhaps that's his first conquest. Okay. But at any rate, hold on. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Basil, it's that other Ted. Okay. Yep, you got it, Ted Cruz. Elsie, I will talk to you a little bit later. Ted Cruz, Senator from the great state of Texas. Okay. Okay. Now, there's been some talk about you running for president. And Basil, Senator Cruz is saying, yup. Okay. Now, here's the question. You are from, originally, our neighbor to the north, Canada. And the question that's on people's minds is, all right, Basil, Senator Cruz says he's got that one covered already. His stock speech is out, ready to be presented. He says that in the future, at some point, the United States will annex Canada. And because of that, the same way that the senators that have come to us from Ohio, we've had Taft and a few others from Ohio. We've had Eisenhower from Kansas, which of course were not original states. We've had George H.W. Bush, whose legal residence was a hotel room in Houston when he became president, and the one who was jokingly called the Little Bush. Ted says, look, those guys can't hold a candle to him. And anyway, he is, as he says, from a country that in the future will at some point be part of the United States, that will be part. Now, Senator Cruz, is Canada going to take the place of Texas when Texas secedes again? Because there is talk, of secession of Texas from the United States, and likewise some of the other states, states like South Carolina, North Carolina, a few other ones, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. There is talk about those states actually seceding from the United States. Okay, Basil, Senator Cruz says that yes, that's true. That's true, and there is talk about those states seceding from the United States. But now, Senator Cruz, I think it's important that we address that in a little bit more detail, because of course some of those states, states like Mississippi, South Carolina, there's a bunch of other ones too. Those states receive much more in federal dollars from from our taxes, all of our taxes, than the people living in those states contribute in income tax to the federal government. So in fact, they're counting on the federal government to take care of them to a great degree. And doesn't that really mean, in fact, that those states are, well, I've got two terms: welfare states and failed states. I mean, they can't make it on their own. They need the federal government. What in the world are they going to do if they're not part of the United States and not receiving those billions of dollars in benefits above and beyond what they contribute to the federal government? And states like California and Connecticut and New York State, where the citizens pay a lot more in federal dollars into the Treasury than they receive back from the Treasury. So, what are you going to do? I mean, how are you going to survive? You just can't, okay? He hung up. Okay. So that was the big surprise, huh? That we'd get a call in from Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. Okay? Now, what do you propose we do for the last 3 minutes of the show? Okay, Basil says, and I'm going to quote him first. Okay. Basil says, just don't sing anymore, okay? Bad enough. The original was bad enough. But, hey, look. I see him off stage, off camera. It's Ted Cruz. Not Ted Cruz, Ted Nugent. There he is. You're going to have to wait till the next show, Ted. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. And then we're going to... he says he has got a fur ball in his throat, so he can't talk, so forget it. He's gonna get shacked up somewhere and see if he can do another Cat Scratch Fever version and then come visit us at some future date. So, with that, no, really? Oh, come on, Basil. Basil says you gotta let props out to the cow. You gotta let. We gotta wait for Elsie to call back. Well, just like that. Good evening, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Okay. Elsie says she's got some of those people at the door right now that are trying to convince her that her lot will be much better served if there's less government. Okay. Now, Elsie, you got them there, right? Yeah, Elsie says, yep, she's got them there. How much less government? Well, you know, what kind of, checking the time. What do they mean by less government? How much less? Elsie says, Elsie says they're not promising her board and milk. They're promising her Lizzie Borden. What do they mean by that? By Lizzie Borden? Okay, Elsie says that as long as Lizzie Borden thinks her parents are threatening her, in their world, Florida and some of the other states where this stand your ground law has been proposed, that Lizzie Borden could kill her mom and dad. Matter of fact, the Menendez twins could kill their parents and just say that their parents they felt threatened by them. That's a frightening thought. That's a very frightening thought. Okay, this has been Basil BuddhaCat present. Basil. Phone 1, phone 2, thing 1, thing 2. Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent's gal. And that's it.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, fritter her away her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, Meow. Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow.
Well, the first time I got it, I was 10 years old. Got it from the kid in the door. And I went to see the doctor, and he gave me the cure. I think I got it some more. They gave me cat scratch fever. They gave me cat scratch fever. They gave me cat scratch fever. I got a bad scratch fever. The cat scratch fever. What do you mean? What do you mean? No, I haven't got a fur ball. Yeah. I haven't got a fur ball in my throat. Yeah, I came here. You invited me. I came here to go mono a Cato